Welcome back to the Feel Good Show, where emotions turn into unforgettable journeys. I'm Alex Rivers, broadcasting live from our Emotion Park studio. And tonight, we're diving into something every parent knows all too well. We're exploring boredom. I know. It sounds like the least exciting topic ever, right? But stick with me, because what we discovered might completely flip your perspective. Look, I noticed something interesting about my guests tonight. They walked in here looking a bit drowsy, almost like they'd been lounging around with nothing to do. But here's what's wild. That nothing turned into everything. Their boredom became the launchpad for the most creative adventure yet. So before we dive in, let me ask, did anyone catch that downpour earlier? The rain was absolutely hammering the windows.
Oh, we definitely noticed. Made everything feel so slow and quiet outside.
Perfect weather for staying in and, well, initially doing absolutely nothing.
And how did that feel? That nothing moment.
Honestly, at first, a little uncomfortable, like we should be doing something.
Yeah, there was this restless energy, like my brain was searching for the next thing.
And that's exactly what we're exploring tonight. You know, I was reading about Archimedes recently, the ancient Greek mathematician.
The Eureka guy?
Exactly. He was just sitting in his bathtub, basically doing nothing, when suddenly, boom, major scientific breakthrough. He figured out a complex problem precisely because his mind had space to wander.
So sometimes the best thing we can do is nothing?
Well, not quite nothing, more like creating space for something unexpected to emerge.
But how do we create that space when boredom feels so uncomfortable?
That's the challenge, right? We see our kids bored and immediately want to fix it. Hand them a screen, suggest an activity.
Because watching someone be bored makes us uncomfortable too.
Exactly, which is why I'm excited about our guest tonight. Jody Turner is a clinical psychologist who works with kids in schools, and she created Intuitive Play, full of practical ways families can navigate these boredom moments. Before Echo takes us on tonight's adventure, Jody will share insights that'll help you understand the journey ahead. Jody, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about an emotion we all feel sometimes, boredom. Boredom's often seen as something negative, but it actually has a really important purpose. When we feel bored, it's our brain's way of saying, I'm ready for something new. That's when our imagination starts to wake up. Some of the best ideas, games, and stories begin because someone felt bored first. Now, when we feel bored, it's easy to want to grab a screen or play a video game, and that can be fun sometimes. But if we always do that, our brain doesn't get a chance to come up with its own new ideas. When we sit with boredom for a little while, that's when creativity starts to bubble up. But it's also important to remember that boredom doesn't feel the same way for everyone. For some neurodivergent kids, like those with ADHD or autism, boredom can actually feel really uncomfortable or even painful. It's not just about having nothing to do, it's about not being able to find the right kind of activity their brain needs. If that sounds like you or someone you know, it can help to have a few tricks ready, like a boredom box or a picture list of fun things to try. And sometimes it's the starting that's tricky, not the playing. So having a parent or friend join in for the first few minutes can make it easier and more fun. So next time you feel bored, remember, it's not bad. It might be your brain's way of inviting you to explore, imagine, and create something new. And it's also okay to recognize when boredom feels tricky and to ask for a little help to get started. I'm looking forward to hearing what emotions you explore in the next episode. Bye for now.
Brilliant insights, Jody. And listeners, check out Intuitive Play for more amazing activities. It's like having a creativity coach in your pocket. And those boredom boxes Jody mentioned? Philly and Dilly actually discovered something similar in their adventure. Should we hear their story?
Oh yeah, we encountered 6 different neighbors, each finding their own unique creative path.
And it all started in the most ordinary place, a rainy afternoon at home.
Perfect. Listeners, grab something cozy. Maybe your favorite plushie, because Echo, our memory keeper, is about to transport us to the neighborhood, where the most boring day became the most creative adventure. Echo, take us there.
Thanks, Alex. This story holds a special place in my memory because it shows us that magic doesn't need grand stages. Sometimes it blooms in the quietest corners of ordinary days. Picture a gray autumn afternoon, rain drumming steadily against windows, each drop adding to the rhythm of a slow, sleepy day. Inside their cozy home, Philly sprawled across her favorite windowsill, watching raindrops race down the glass. Her tail swished slowly, back and forth, keeping time with her growing restlessness. "Dilly?" she sighed. Came the reply from Dilly's spot on the floor, surrounded by his usual toys. "I'm bored." Dilly lifted his head, surveying his toy box. Mr. Chicken, several cubes and balls. All familiar, all suddenly uninteresting. "Yeah, me too." Silence settled between them, broken only by the rain's persistent percussion. Then Philly remembered something. "You know what you said the other day? About how boredom can actually unlock our imagination? How we can become anyone, do anything, go anywhere." Dilly's ears perked slightly. "You mean about using creativity to transform boring moments?" "Exactly!" Philly's eyes sparked with possibility. She grabbed one of her cat toys, tossing it playfully. "Dilly! Wake up! The foamy aliens are attacking! Captain Bubble needs backup!" Dilly blinked, then grinned at the sudden game. "Ha ha ha ha, interesting dream, Philly." "It wasn't a dream." Philly's whiskers twitched mischievously. "It's an invitation. We can create anything right now. We could fly to space, compose music without instruments, become movie stars. Anything." "Can we really fly to space?" Dilly asked hopefully. "Of course. We just need—" Philly paused, looking at the toy box. Dilly followed her gaze, his imagination beginning to whir. He stared at Mr. Chicken and suddenly saw not a toy, but a spaceship captain. Dilly jumped up, folding his paws into pretend binoculars. "Captain Philly, Mr. Chicken's ship is approaching. They're carrying watermelons that taste like jelly beans. Moon picnic invitation? Do we accept?" "Absolutely." Philly leapt into the game. "I'll ask Mr. Hamster to fly us up in his plane." Together they shouted, "Hey, hooray! Boredom, go away! We're launching an adventure from our living room today." And then, something extraordinary. Their Hey Feelings book began glowing, recognizing what was happening. Pages fluttered open in response to their creative energy. At the same moment, through the window, they spotted the magnificent Wheel of Emotions at Emotion Park beginning to spin with purpose. "Look!" Philly gasped. "The wheel is responding to our creativity." They watched as it slowed, finally stopping with a soft chime. It pointed to a realm that looked deceptively simple, a quiet neighborhood with rows of colorful houses. Glowing words appeared. The neighborhood, where boredom transforms into creativity and ordinary places hide extraordinary possibilities. "The neighborhood?" Dilly read aloud. "It says every window holds a different creative adventure waiting to be discovered." With a swirl of autumn leaves and gentle sparkles, they found themselves on a quiet suburban street. At first glance, everything seemed, well, ordinary. Pleasant houses, neat sidewalks, nothing obviously magical. "It's nice," Philly observed, "but it looks pretty calm." "Wait," Dilly sniffed the air. "I smell something. It's like potential, creativity waiting to bloom." That's when they noticed it. An apartment building ahead, glowing softly from within, as if lit by countless small fires of imagination. "That building," Philly whispered. "Something magical is happening in there." They approached the structure, and as they got closer, they heard faint sounds, laughter, music, storytelling, the whoosh of creative play echoing through walls. Inside, the building defied normal architecture. Through translucent, shimmering walls, they could see into different apartments. On the second floor, Dennis sat in his small apartment, completely absorbed. To the outside world, he appeared to be sitting quietly, but Philly and Dilly could see into his imagination. He'd transformed his room into an elaborate ice cream parlor, carefully crafting impossible flavors that existed only in his mind. "Look at his focus," Philly whispered admiringly. "He's using imagination like meditation, calm, centered, creative." One floor down, Madeline lay on her couch, utterly listless. She'd been so bored she'd actually fallen asleep, her energy completely drained. "Oh," Dilly said softly. "She needs something to wake up her creativity, maybe an active game?" As they watched, Madeline's friend burst in with an idea, a treasure hunt throughout the apartment. They would hide random household items, and whoever found them would get to create something silly with what they discovered. Madeline's eyes lit up instantly, energy flooding back like sunshine breaking through clouds. Higher up, Harper sat at her desk, frustration evident. Her challenging homework loomed before her, and she'd asked her dad for help. "I love that she asked," Dilly observed warmly. Getting started is often the hardest part. Harper's dad sat beside her, not doing the work, but helping her break it into smaller pieces, organizing her thoughts. The relief on Harper's face was beautiful. She didn't need someone to do it for her. She needed support to begin. From another apartment, music suddenly blared. Liam and Bobby had transformed their boredom into a full dance party, moving with wild, joyful abandon, their energy finding expression through rhythm and movement. "Which song always makes you want to move?" Bobby asked between tracks. "Every single one," Liam laughed back. "Music makes boredom impossible." Further up, Boredom sat at a desk with his stamp collection spread before him. Each stamp was studied, categorized, placed with methodical care. His face showed pure contentment. He discovered that collecting and organizing could transform boring time into a fascinating treasure hunt through history and places. Philly and Dilly climbed higher still, following the creative energy flowing through the building. On the top floor, they found Kai sitting by the window, gazing longingly at the rain-soaked world outside. He desperately wanted to play outdoors, but weather had vetoed that plan. Disappointment clouded his features. But then, his parent appeared with art supplies. Together, they began creating the most magnificent indoor nature scene, painting and building and drawing, bringing the outside world inside. Kai's disappointment gradually transformed into engaged creativity, proving that when you can't have what you want, imagination can create something equally wonderful. Philly and Dilly stood in the center of the building, observing all these different neighbors. "Do you see it, Dilly?" Philly asked thoughtfully. "Every single person found a different solution." "You're right," Dilly exclaimed. "Everyone found something different. Quiet imagination, active games, music, collecting, art. Boredom isn't one problem," Philly realized. "It's our brain saying, 'I'm ready for something new.' But that something is different for everyone." As if responding to this insight, the entire building began to glow. Each apartment's creative energy connected with the others, lights flowing from window to window like a constellation coming to life. The building transformed into a beacon of creative energy, visible across the entire neighborhood. A gentle voice echoed through the space, perhaps the neighborhood itself speaking. When boredom arrives, it brings a gift. The gift of space. Space for imagination to stretch and discover what makes your creativity come alive. Quiet or active, focused or exploratory, alone or collaborative, all paths are equally magical when they lead to your unique creative expression. A beautiful diamond materialized before them, glowing with rainbow colors that seemed to contain every shade of creativity imaginable. "The creativity diamond," Philly breathed. "We earned it," Dilly added softly, "by understanding that boredom isn't an enemy, it's an invitation." They collected the diamond, feeling its warmth. With one last look at the glowing apartment building, They felt the familiar sparkle of returning home. Back in their living room, the rain still tapped at windows. Their toy box sat where they'd left it, with Mr. Rabbit and Mr. Chicken waiting patiently. But everything had changed. "Want to keep playing?" Philly asked with a mischievous grin. "Absolutely," Dilly's tail wagged. "But first, should we make a special box for the next time Boredom visits?" "Oh, a creativity box!" Philly's eyes lit up. "We could fill it with drawing supplies, building blocks, story starter cards, musical instruments, and a list of all those neighbors we met, reminding us of the different ways creativity can bloom." They set to work, no longer seeing boredom as something to fear or immediately escape, but as a gentle friend inviting them to discover new worlds, whether in a magical neighborhood far away or right there in their own living room, because they'd learned the most wonderful secret. The most extraordinary adventures often begin in the most ordinary moments, when we're brave enough to sit with boredom long enough to hear what our imagination wants to tell us.
Thank you, Echo. That was remarkable. So what's the biggest takeaway from that journey?
That boredom isn't a problem to solve immediately. It's actually our brain warming up its creative engine.
And everyone's engine works differently. Some need quiet focus, others need high energy. Some need help getting started.
The boredom box idea is brilliant. What goes in one?
Crayons, paper, blocks, maybe a small instrument.
And here's a tip: rotate what's inside every few weeks. Keeps it mysterious and interesting.
For kids who get overwhelmed by choices, Jody mentioned picture lists with just 3 to 5 options. Brilliant accommodation.
The key is giving boredom a little time. If we grab screens immediately, we never discover our own creative power.
Those screens aren't villains. They're just one tool among many. Balance is what matters.
That's our show for tonight, brave explorers. We all earned the creativity diamond.
Next time boredom knocks,
welcome it in. It might bring creativity.
Okay. Sweet dreams, everyone. This is Alex Rivers from The Feel Good Show. Remember, your boredom might just be your brain's invitation to discover something extraordinary. Good night, creative dreamers.